Hello, everyone, and welcome to the post-show live chat, where we're gonna be talking about everything that went down in that dramatic episode of The Bachelorette, Week 8. How is everyone doing tonight? What an episode we got. Tons of stuff going on. Before we start the live chat, I just want to let anyone know. Anyone who's coming in after the fact, after this has been already recorded and posted, this is just where we're going to be talking about everything that immediately happened on the show. This is right after the show aired. If you're looking for the recap, that's going to be coming out real soon, and the preview breakdown the day after that. So, just a couple of things. A few rules before we start the live chat. Number one, please, no sleuthers, no spoilers in the chat. Sleuthing spoilers only in the chat for tonight. Any questions that are going to be asked, I'll try my best to answer them. Sometimes the chat can go by fast, but super chats will get priority, of course. And last but not least, be kind to each other. So, wow, what an episode. What an episode of The Bachelorette, where a lot of men just left their feelings bare and naked. A lot. Oh my goodness, Ed is still on the show. I know, Ed is sneaking by week after week, but this episode had so many men opening up on really deep and vulnerable topics, and I really like that. I like when that happens. I like when real conversations happen. I don't know what it is about the season. Maybe they saw that this is something that, Tayshia is here for, that she wants that, and so they felt more comfortable talking about stuff like that. Either way, we also got a bunch of really cool editing things thrown into this episode, for example, this was a classic example of anytime the group, the one-on-one rose is brought up by the guys, like while they're sitting around and waiting for someone to come back from their one-on-one date, usually it means the one-on-one rose is in jeopardy, and we saw that with Easy going home. Also, if you looked in the preview and you noticed Zach getting a bad edit, one thing I will say about that is Zach, we've seen him in another piece of one-on-one footage. Still to come. So don't worry about Zach. I think he recovers from that. It's a shot of him and Tayshia at like a fake taxi cab thing. And then we finished off with the Bennett and Noah 2-on-1. And gotta say, I don't think it's looking good for Bennett. And Carolyn Needles, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm not sus, I promise. Love the content. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Carolyn joined us. She's one of the members. She joined us for our Among Us, our members only Among Us gameplay, where me and a few people who are members on the channel played Among Us. And it was a lot of fun. We played for a few hours yesterday. And I want to do that at least once a month. And then on the days where it's the off season and there's no Bachelor or Bachelorette out, do it more frequently. So it was a lot of fun. But yes, so back to Noah and Bennett. So the main reason why I believe Noah is going to stay and Bennett's going to go is because I believe there's one shot from a preview where Noah is in it, and it doesn't seem to be from this episode. I'll double check that on my next preview breakdown. But otherwise, we have no more footage of Bennett at all. So I think Noah's going to stay, Bennett's going to go. Based off of that. And Bennett's been getting a real drama guy kind of edit, and it's kind of getting tiresome. It's getting a bit tiresome. But I think it's for the best. Let him go before the man drama continues, and get him in there for Paradise. Because what I really enjoyed about Bennett, what I really liked about Bennett, seeing him after like the second or third episode, was just like he's goofy and he's not intimidating. Like you all know Bennett's not gonna win this thing with either Claire or Tayshia. He's not gonna win this thing. And when they go around doing goofy, funny things and they're entertaining to watch, it's kind of a joke to enjoy them and stand them and everything. And it's getting a little tiresome. So I want him to come back in Paradise with that like goofy bougie side. And B. Gunnarsson, thank you for the super chat. Bachelor Nation Twitter accidentally tweeted out a photo for next week of all who got roses, spoiling who went home at this rose ceremony. Really? I'm sure I'll be able to find that. Someone will have shotted that. I mean, do I even want to like look at that? I guess there's no nothing from this preview to show who gets roses or not. But yeah, I guess I'm sure that'll be posted somewhere, or it'll be retweeted or something like that, or someone yeah, maybe I don't know. It's kind of crossing the line of okay to spoil or not to spoil, but I missed the first half hour with Zach's one-on-one. What happened? So yeah, no, they just went on a photo shoot group date, or sorry, one-on-one, not group date, a photo shoot date, and they put on fancy clothes, and then they came back for the night portion of the date, and Zach expressed how he told Tayshia about how he was divorced, and how that divorce came about because of his sort of downfall into drug use and stuff like that, which I'm guessing was painkillers and things from he had like a brain tumor, and sort of he had a downward spiral that ended his marriage, and he was young. I think he was 23. So the picture is still up. Okay, now I have to see it. But that was the start of a more like vulnerable conversation that happened, and then there were many, many more after that. Riley expressed a vulnerable story. Ben expressed one. There were quite a number on the group date, which wasn't like an art group date, and I'm cool with that. I love when they have real conversations. So I'm all about it. Okay, so I'm looking up the Bachelorette on Twitter, and I can't find it, but I'm sure someone. No, that's not the Bachelorette. I looked at the wrong thing. I can't find it. It's on Bachelor Nation. Bachelor Nation. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, folks. Oh, really? What the? Okay, well, there you go. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm talking about one person in this photo who has a rose. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. 2 people. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Okay. Oh, boy. There you go. I don't know if I want to I could pop this up on the screen if everyone wants to see. Or if you wanna check it out, okay. I'll figure out how to throw this up. Hold on Give me a moment, folks. This is live editing happening. Okay, Bachelor Nation. Yep. So there are 7 guys with roses here. Does this mean there's only 7 guys left after this? It feels like there's been the same amount of guys for forever. Has anyone else felt that? Like we've been spending so many episodes without like any new like with the same guys. Okay, here, I'm getting it. Sorry. All right, you ready? Boom. There you go. Oh, it's zoomed in. All right, let me fix this. Oh, now it's super stretched, but I'll figure it out. There we go. Live editing for you. Yeah. So, oh boy. Someone at Bachelor... Okay, I didn't... honest to goodness, I didn't even look at what the caption said. Is it just a photo? Thanks for watching, Bachelor Nation. Oh boy, it just says, thanks for watching, Bachelor Nation. Yikes. Oh boy. That's rough. And it's been up for 14 minutes. For 14 minutes. Hoo boy. 7 guys. How many were even left? I don't even know. What was it, like 12 guys? The social media intern. Oh no. Oh boy. Yeah, Rip Spencer. But okay, I'll be honest with you. One of the worst first impression roses edits ever. The guy, Spencer, got the first impression rose. He was in a little bit of drama. I don't know what happened to him. He fell off the face of the earth. Not usually the case with the first impression rose recipient. That usually the first recipient of the first impression rose goes far. We saw it, Rachel's season. We saw it JoJo season. We saw Hannah Brown's season. We saw Becca's season. We've seen it with Claire. And not this time. So to me, this is pretty simple from here. Because if you're telling me that Blake or Riley have any chance of making it to hometowns so far, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you're smoking. And Caitlin, thank you for the super chat and the rose. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Blake literally made a clay penis. He got the rose. He did what he needed to do. He got it. Apparently that was enough. Wow. So, okay. At this point, Ivan, Zach, Ben, Brendan, I just don't see Noah getting a rose over them. I just don't see it. Who's Blake? Yeah, I know. Why did Easy go home? He was on the one-on-one, and Tayshia said she wasn't feeling it. He said he was falling for her, and she didn't reciprocate, so he didn't survive the one-on-one. So yeah, it's quite obvious who the final four are, and I feel that it's been obvious for a while. But also understand that I think this season, like when you really break down the preview footage and start seeing, okay, how many one-on-ones are there, who is, doing stronger than others. Like, we've seen one-on-one footage of Ivan, Brendan, and Zach and Ben, and multiple one-on-one footage. We've seen one-on-one footage, at least 2 different shots of Ben, which means he probably survives this final 7 and probably into the final 3, potentially. Don't quote me on that. But no footage of Riley, no footage of Blake. A little bit more dramatic footage of Noah. But also understand, this season started with less man and had less episodes. And Savannah, thank you for the super chat. I applaud the men for opening up tonight. I do too. Say what you want about all of it. There was a lot of it. And, obviously they were either encouraged more to talk about this stuff, or Tayshia encouraged them to talk more about this stuff. But it's happening, and it's good. It's better for the show, in my opinion. I want more genuine stuff. Real stuff. So how about Brendan not saying he's not ready to propose? I have to consider, because Zach got a bad edit in this preview, that Brendan also did as well. Because Zach, for sure, we know has one more one-on-one. And, could that be next episode? Maybe. Now we're talking about the final 7, and usually what happens in the final 7 is they have 2 or potentially 3 one-on-ones, and then the rest of the guys. So there'll be 4 guys, I guess, of the 7 going on a group date where Tayshia will give out roses one by one until eventually there's just 1 guy left and 4 for hometowns, and we'll head into hometowns. But that's I guess the episode after this next one. So I have to consider that with Zach getting a potentially bad edit, but then being on a one-on-one, which won't be next episode. It'll probably be for that final 7 area. Or oh gosh, I don't know what the timeline is, but potentially Zach getting another one-on-one and more footage of him, and so he survives whatever conversation happens next week, that it might be the same for Brendan too. That might not, we don't know if that's the case, but I kind of have to assume that's what's up. Or that maybe it's a possibility. And Rachel, thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on loosening of rules, eating on dates, word process a lot, conversations that could be seen as political, positive change. Thoughts? Anything that's real, I'm here for it. Anything that's real. So I want to see tough conversations. I want to see hard conversations. I want to see stuff that's genuine, because the show's gotten so big at this point. Talk about the process. Talk about what the show's like. We know now. We know so much more than we ever did about the show. I'm here for it. It's real. I want to see real people. Like the fantasy, the production team is going to take care of the fantasy. They're going to do that. We're going to get our fancy dates. Maybe not so much this season as in later seasons. But like in what I mean by that is Matt James is obviously going to get a lot more of that past seasons as well. I'm all for it. Eating on dates, didn't see as much of that. I was watching that brunch in the first 5-10 minutes when JoJo came in. And let me tell you, as someone who, because of this whole social distancing stuff, someone who misses brunch a lot, I was watching that brunch, and I didn't see enough of that brunch getting eaten. So I saw like 0 of that brunch getting eaten. So What do you have a bachelor bubble for, if not to eat brunch with someone else? Just saying. And Asaya Bates, sorry if I mispronounced the name, really appreciate the super chat. I'm happy that the show is letting us see more conversations. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Thank you for the super chat. It's just more real. Because so much of the show can seem fake. It can seem produced. And when it crosses over, like, sometimes it's okay, it's fine. But sometimes it's too much and it seems a little forced. When it's real and there's real conversations, when you feel like two people are actually falling in love or dealing with real stuff, it's better. And Margaret, thank you for the super chat. How do you feel about JoJo? About her as a host? I think here's one thing I wondered at the beginning of the show. I wonder if Tayshia JoJo was already there to talk with Tayshia, to have that little brunch chat as like just a thing. Same that how it happened with Claire. They had their little Bachelorette chat, and then because she happened to be there, they thought, well, great, we don't have to quarantine her, we don't have to do anything because it's already happened, so let's put her in for hosting. I'm curious if that was the reason why JoJo was the perfect kind of placement. So, but when it comes to JoJo, I think with her season, I liked JoJo, but I didn't like the men on her season. I think I thought her season had a pretty bad cast. But as host, she's doing the job. They aren't making her, scoot around the entire resort or scoop ice cream for people on any dates or anything. But she's just filling in with that. She's doing fine. Filling in with the, hosting duties, the occasional group date stuff. So she's doing all right. So Bennett will leave the show. Yep, Bennett's going to leave. Now we have the confirmation that Noah gets a rose and he stays. And Ben had the group date rose. Zach had the one-on-one rose. And at the rose ceremony, Riley, Ivan, Brendan, and Blake. I can't believe Blake. Who's going? Spencer's going. And Lala, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. And the sticker. Thank you so much. So, they deleted the tweet. It's done. It's gone. Well, I'm not deleting the tweet. Oh, man. Someone feels horrible. Someone feels horrible tonight. I do feel bad, but there you go. Sleuthing for this next week is going to be easy. And the Eichler Life, thank you so much for the super chat. The production value for Matt James' season looks way superior to this season. Tayshia got the short end of the stick in dates, location, men, repeat. Yep, that's true. That is true. But, on the other hand, it was a very unusual situation. I wish there could have been crazier dates for Tayshia, longer season for Tayshia, but I think if you're looking at this from the production viewpoint, they're already going to be smushing in episodes, right? I believe it is the 14th December, PSA, December 14th and December 15th Bachelorette episodes That's Monday the 14th and Tuesday the 15th, and then again on the 21st and 22nd. I'm pretty sure about that, but for sure, the Bachelor creator said the 14th Bachelorette Monday is returning, and then they're going to squish in another episode right after, and then the week after, same thing, because they need to get it done before Christmas. And then it's Matt James season. So they are already squishing in episodes, and at La Quinta, you're just kind of trying to figure out how to even do a season in a bubble. And with Matt, they'll have had many months more to plan and figure out how to do what they can while in a bubble. So, while, yes, I agree that Tayshia got the short end of the stick, I wish she had, honestly started the season. Happy for Clarendale. I wish Tayshia had started the season and had a more full experience. But she got the short end of the stick, but I think, she knew what she was getting into too, and that's just kind of the deal that she got. Or whoever, if she had turned it down, whoever else would have been put in. And Sarah, thank you for the super chat. Do you think the recasting of men after everything shut down really helped bolster the quality of men, but for both Claire and Tayshia? Thoughts? Well, I think, if you're looking at this episode, it feels like a strong cast so far. And obviously, the more time you have to flush out a cast, the more time you have to put a cast together is better. So I think it did. I'll have to double check because I don't know which of these guys were in the original cast versus who wasn't. I can't remember. Who of the people that we really like from this season were added that weren't originally in the cast for Claire's season when they announced it back in March or something. But I think more time is better. They just don't have time to do that really between The Bachelor and Bachelorette because there's only a month or less, or there's only, so many months between the ending of a season, picking a Bachelorette, and then going, okay, who might be good for this person? So it's tough, but I do think it was good, and we've got what seems to be a good cast of guys, a good general cast, both in terms of people you like and villains, and just entertaining people this season. And Katie, thank you so much. How legendary was the ending on the gift box? I know. What's in the box? What's in the box? Yeah, Bennett, just when you think he might be getting back to that nice goofy side, he's got the gifts out. The fake gifts for Noah. So, Bennett, it's not going to end well for Bennett, and we know that now. We can see in this photo that Tayshia makes her choice, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her of the two, but Noah's also tainted as well. He's not going to make it to the end. No way. Who is Matt James? Matt James is the next Bachelor. He was supposed to be on this season. He was part of the original cast that they announced back in March. And then in, July or so of this year, he was announced to be the Bachelor because there was a lot of pressure put on ABC because they've never had a black man as the lead for the show. And be clear, this was a move because of the pressure that Bachelor Nation or the Bachelor producers were receiving. thanks in part by the Bachelor Diversity Campaign, which was a petition to make the cast more diverse and represent more of the diversity of America, and which received thousands, if more than 100,000. I don't know what the final number was. Signatures, and that also being said, so Matt James is also best friends with Tyler Cameron, so he already had a huge following going into the season, probably why he was picked. And I also believe that Matt was being vetted for the role before the season was even starting. I believe he was being brought in to get a Bachelor edit, potentially, depending on how he was. And it makes me wonder, like, how many guys are going in with that mindset? How many guys are going into a season where the production team is already looking at them and going, this could be a potential Bachelor or Bachelorette? Because I don't think they would have pulled the trigger on that without feeling confident that they could get the season that they wanted. And I'm guessing they talked to him and interviewed him and all of that as it was happening, and then decided that they were going to pull the trigger. So, yeah, and then a lot of people are fairly saying, why not Mike? I feel like, what would have been a world where Mike was the Bachelor and Peter wasn't? Obviously, they had the reasons. I sometimes wonder if they said no to Mike, before Peter became the Bachelor. They decided Peter, and then maybe they felt it might look bad if they reneged and chose Mike. I think they could have spun that to be a real positive, awesome thing. But I don't know. I guess they didn't. Yeah, they didn't want Mike, and they obviously talked with Matt and felt, okay, we can get the season that we want. But maybe I'll do another video on who is Matt James, because I have a video out already on Matt James, which came out right when he was announced. Maybe I'll do another one, because I have seen a lot of people saying, who is this guy? Who is this guy? People like on the latest preview breakdown stuff from Matt saying, who is this guy? So, but a Mike season versus Peter, I think, could have been good. I mean, I've talked with Mike a little bit, and he seems genuinely nice from the small interaction that I've had with him, which is for the face reveal video. Oh, Mike found out he wasn't the Bachelor 10 minutes before the men tell. That sucks. I wonder if the same. Yeah, I don't. Oh gosh. Because I'm thinking about like how he performed, how he was edited in that men tell all back on that season, Hannah Brown season, and I compared it to Hannah Brown's women tell all, and I thought there were some similarities. Because like. I don't know. I can't remember. Because on Hannah Brown's Women Tell All, she was so strongly represented. She had such a killer performance. I kind of thought that the Tell All was sort of like the audition, the final audition for the lead for Hannah Brown. And I wondered if that was the same case for Mike. So... Who is your final four right now? Same as before. It is Ben, Brendan, Ivan, and Zach. Not in that particular order. And if you see in the slideshow, I'll switch over to the slideshow now. It's going to be the last friggin' thing. Maybe I can add it to this one, to this photo. The same image before. So we sleuthed out in the last preview breakdown that Ivan is going to make it to the Final Four based off of, let me see if it's Island Sleuth here. It should be somewhere right here. Here it is. So you don't have to wait. There you go. And it's super zoomed in again. Just do that for now. This photo. So this shot right here of the man with the tattoo consoling Ivan, who was crying or something like that, really, really bugged me in the last preview breakdown. Really, really bugged me. Because I was going, I just thought at first someone from the show, some other contestant was like coming in to console Ivan. And then I thought, but who could that be? Who has arm tattoos like that? No one from the show that's left. I mean, there was like Kenny who had arm tattoos, but it just didn't make sense. This was also right after Ivan had that conversation with Tayshia about his brother. And then it hit me, okay, maybe it's not someone who's a contestant. Is it someone who's hosting like a group date or something? But why would they be consoling him like, and he's crying? We're getting down to the last few men. And then I searched Ivan's Instagram and found the picture of his brother and his niece. So that's the summary of how I came to the confirmation on Ivan making it to the Final Four. Because the only reason why Ivan's brother would be there would be for hometown dates. Now there is a remote possibility that they bring Ivan's brother in earlier, but that's a huge stretch in comparison to the idea of, him being there for hometowns. So there you go. That's the sleuth proof. For Ivan making it to the Final Four. So do you think they will pick the next Bachelor from this season? If yes, who are the top contenders? That is a good question. It'll be someone from that group of, we're going back to it, this scene. It will be one of these guys, if they choose someone from this group. At this point, your guess is as good as mine. I would say the only options of this group of guys, but don't forget about Joe. Of course, yes. I know Joe. I would love it. It's hard to imagine actually happening. What I see happening is them bringing him in for Paradise. I would be so down for a Joe season. He seems like a really genuine guy, a funny guy, especially from the stuff he's posted outside of the show. So I'm a stan for Joe as Bachelor 2022. But so we're going to say that the next Bachelorette season rolls around. Nobody is a good contender. I would say, I don't know. Like Ben seems like a good option. They could go Zach and they could go Ivan. And if Brendan has a really good ending, it could go for him. But like it would be one of those Final Four guys. For sure. So based on the kind of edits they're getting. But here's the real way it's going to go down. Say there's no one from the upcoming Bachelorette season in May. I bet you that they'll bring one of those guys, put them in Paradise, give them a whole new storyline and edit in Paradise, and then that'll be the setup for them, because it'll be such a long time since this season. They'll want to reinvigorate interest in the guys. Get people going, oh yeah, Ivan, or oh yeah, Zach, or oh yeah, Brendan, or whoever, or Ben. But this is completely dependent on the idea that that no one from the next Bachelorette season is going to be a contender. Because you have to understand that in the next Bachelorette season, the biggest thing that the guys are going to have going for them is recency bias. Because we might be going Joe right now, or whoever, but in May, in June, in July, that recency, it's going to be, who are we oh yeah. You know, oh yeah, Ben. I remember Ben, but what about this guy from this season? So, unless it's another Peter season, where a lot of the guys or you know, a lot of the contestants are not fitting the bill, it's going to be one of them. It's going to be one of them. And speaking of Paradise, Chris Harrison has come out and said they are planning for Paradise. Now, what does that mean? Is it going to be, you know, back in Mexico? Unknown. I think a lot of that is going to depend on how the next few months go. You know, if they're going to even be allowed to, if it will be smart to. But they are planning for it. And of course they're planning for it. Worst case scenario, I imagine they just find a beach in America. Do it like that. And in that case, and Chris Harrison has already acknowledged this, it's going to be tough to figure out who's going to make it to Paradise, because there are a lot of options. There are men from this season. There are going to be men from the next Bachelorette season. There are going to be women from Matt James season. And there are going to be women potentially from Peter season. There could even be people from Listen to Your Heart. So, it's going to be hard pickings. So, I expect the majority to be from Matt James season and from the future Bachelorette season. Simply, again, because recency. But there will be select men, I'm sure, from this season, and potentially a few from Peter season. And I'd say, like, anyone who's been a kind of hit, even if it's dramatic, Bennett and Joe, good potential for Paradise. And I could totally see Joe going there, because they will want to, like, you know, please people, and again, keep vocal about Joe if that's what you want to see. Otherwise, it could be gone. And Alicia, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss your face already. You know what? One of these days, I'll do this live stream with Cam on. I'm still missing a few things for my setup, though, but I will definitely do that. But thank you for the super chat. So, but yeah, I'm missing Paradise. Paradise is, in many ways, my favorite Bachelor show. Because Paradise, they don't try to hide how cheesy this show can be. So I miss it. It's gonna be coming back. All the crazy intros, I think it's also just the fact that it's a show where you get to ship different people and see who actually works well together. And where else can you get 3 engagements on one season? So, still a lot of edits though. The raccoons with Claire. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's the same show, the same edits, but it's not afraid to be, I guess, dirtier. Like, the kind of like the sloppiness or the cringiness or the bad edits. They're a little bit more open about it in Paradise. So, and potentially they were talking about, I know they had talked about Bachelor Summer Games. We'll see if the actual Olympics are going to happen. And I couldn't believe that they were talking about that. They were going to fit in Bachelorette and Bachelor Summer Games and Bachelor in Paradise all in the same year in 2020. But that, obviously changed. So maybe they could do it again. And there was that seniors show they were talking about, which is still something they have said it's in their minds. Obviously, it's on the back burner and in the back burner. But if they were planning to do all of that, maybe they'll do it again if the Olympics are on. How does the Summer Games work? So I imagine it's going to be exactly like the Bachelor Winter Games show, where they had contestants from all over Bachelor Nation, Bachelor Global, whatever you want to call it. So contestants from like the Bachelor Australia, contestants from Bachelor Canada, contestants from Bachelor Germany and Japan, and mostly still contestants from Bachelor America, coming to one place, and they engaged in like sort of winter sport activities, and all of them were looking to couple up and all that. So I imagine it'll be the same thing, but with summer sports. So we'll see that. I think the Bachelor Winter Games got like a little bit fewer viewers than they had hoped, but at the end of the day, I think ABC sees the views that gets versus some other shows and says, okay, we still want more. Because otherwise we wouldn't be getting some of these spin-offs like Listen to Your Heart or them approving a Bachelor Summer Games. So, and yeah, Claire was engaged for 5 minutes from Winter Games. Yes, she met Benoit. Claire from this season met Benoit from Bachelorette Canada. He was a contestant there, and they got engaged. She connected with him, and then connected with someone else, and Benoit left, and then after that erupted with the other guy. They started talking after the show, and then he came on and proposed to her, and she said yes, and then they broke up. So, but Benoit has said really nice things about Claire. He's also said that he feels Claire got a really bad edit on the show. That's not the Claire he knows. And he also was supposed to be on the show at the beginning, and they cut that from the show. So, and Benoit really does seem like just from what I've read and seen on the show, he does really seem like a good guy. And Sandra D, thank you for the super chat. Do you think Tayshia will leave engaged? I hope so. I'm going to say yes. I mean, she seems pretty serious. about it. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not like I guess it comes down to at this point like what's your vibe about Tayshia, and there are some people like who go on the show where it's hard for you to believe that they could ever leave engaged, and I could see it with Tayshia. Now, yeah, will she stay engaged? We'll see. There's a tough track record to beat on this show. But I could see it. I'm not at a position where I'm thinking it's definitely not going to happen. It all depends on... I think we'll have a stronger answer to that question as we get there. From every indication that we've seen, which is the preview footage, she makes it to the final rose ceremony. So we know that much. We know she's not going to, nothing's going to blow up beforehand. So she at least makes it, and I'm guessing, and picks a guy. Unless she picks no one, but she makes it to the final rose ceremony and she's waiting for someone. So we know she makes it that far. Do you ever think they would have Blake for Bachelor Canada? They haven't had a Bachelor Canada in forever. I'm waiting for them to have anyone for a Bachelor Canada. But yeah, I'm sure he'd be down. But I imagine they might want to. It might be tough for them to do that. Maybe they just want another. They haven't gone with someone from the show, and there have been Canadians in the show before for the role, so I would say it probably won't happen. So we'll see if there's even a Bachelor Canada ever again. At this point, I don't think it would happen just in Canada with everything going on. It's not going to happen. They're not even allowing the Raptors, the Toronto Raptors, to play in Canada. So I don't see, even without everything, like the pandemic and all that, I wasn't expecting a Bachelor Canada season, so I don't expect one now. Yeah, and Astrid and Kevin were supposed to get engaged, or married, and they're engaged, and that didn't happen. So, times are tough here in Canada. And yeah, Canadian spin-offs of show never last very long, sadly. Same with The Bachelor UK, and there's the Bachelor in Paradise Australia, which apparently isn't returning. So even though the Australian one was really popular. So, R.I.P. What makes you say Zach got a bad edit? I think it was fine. So they show that there is some negative footage in the preview, and we'll talk about this in the breakdown of Zach, having serious conversations. But we've seen Zach still on another one-on-one, still to come in the preview, and so he obviously gets through that conversation to have another one-on-one later. And I'm pretty sure this has happened many times before, where they have some of the front runners get thrown into the previews with some bad edits, especially after they've had continuous weeks of good edits. Zach has had continuous weeks of really good edits, and this week, obviously his best one yet. Then they throw in that to make you go, oh, maybe it isn't Zach. Maybe it isn't Brendan. Brendan also had a bit of bad edit. Yeah, Zach said he cheated on his wife, or he said he had cheated before. Have you cheated before? Yes. So obviously, we know now that Noah gets the group date rose. But obviously, or the 2-on-1 rose. Now we know that when Noah says always a cheater, or once a cheater, always a cheater, he's talking about Zach. And again, that's bad for Noah. Potentially. Because we know that Zach likely recovers from that, and so people that are talking smack against Zach, not going to go well with Tayshia. Noah's already been, talking he's involved in a lot of drama. So, again, Noah is pushing out of my favor. I think the top 4 are still as strong as ever. Zach, Brendan, Ben, Ivan. So if we didn't get that spoiler from the Bachelor Nation Twitter account itself, we could now theorize 100% that Noah makes it past the 2-on-1. Obviously, this is irrelevant at this point. So, but the footage of Noah that's still to come is of him saying, once a cheater, always a cheater, which will be from, I guess, next episode. So do you think they're doing an edit that's like Madison's edit from Peter's season, where the person who ends up with the Bachelor/Bachelorette doesn't get much screen time until the end? Well, I disagree with that, because I believe Madison got a lot of screen time. It just might not have been in the way that in sometimes an obvious way. There were a lot of, and I talked about this a little bit when I was doing breakdowns of the season, of moments where Madison was pulled aside to talk with Peter, and they had a little romantic time, and then it shifts back to the drama. So I think when it comes to a front runner like that, they get in the footage. They need you to know who the strong players are. They need you to think favorably, at least up until a certain point, about them. And I don't think potentially anyone's getting... I don't think there's a kind of edit like with Peter's season. But, I mean, I that's just based off of like my feeling. I don't think there's anything that's indicating the same situation that happened with Peter is going to happen here. But do you know what a PogChamp is? Yeah, a Twitch TV emote. Absolutely. So, do you have thoughts on a final 2? Or final 2, I'm still thinking is Zach, Brendan. I've not been too favorable about Ben's edit recently. So, but it could be any of those top 4. I think it was really easy getting down to a top 4, but where you go from there is much tougher. But Zach, Ivan, could be. Zach, Ben, Zach, Ivan, Ben, Brendan, Zach, Brendan. I think Zach's in a strong spot, and some of it's just by default. I don't see Ivan quite being there, so I think Ivan could be that final 3 guy maybe, but he could be hometown guy going home. Ben's tough to position. I just don't feel as strong about him, so he could be a final 3 guy, final 4 guy. So I'm leaning in the Zach Brendan part. But okay, we're going to be coming to the last couple of minutes of the stream now. As per usual, got to get up nice and early to start the recap video. I'm working all that. Try to get that out at a good hour. So, can't wait to see your preview breakdown. Here's my preview breakdown. Boom. Right there. Preview breakdown, guys. It's going to be 5 seconds long. It's just going to be this photo. There you go. Next week on The Bachelorette. Tweeted out by Bachelor Nation itself, the account, the official Bachelor account. There you go. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. So it's crazy. I just don't see Tayshia sending those final four home. She seems equally interested in them. I know. Like, you can see a world where Noah gets sent home. You can see a world where Riley gets sent home. You can see a world where Blake gets sent home. But the other four, up until it gets to that four, like, just like think about it. Really, which of those seven guys, including those final four, are going before hometowns? And it's just I don't know, to me obvious. Even apart from all the preview footage that we have, any editing that you see, it's just one of those guys. So I would like to see the Bachelor Twitter account tweet, "Oops." Yeah, I know they should. Disregard that. Or they should get someone photoshopping in some new heads to really shake things up. Like throw Spencer in there and Ed in there. Really start a conspiracy theory. I really think Riley will surprise you. Maybe. But I'm just like, I have nothing against Riley. And I think he was in a good position, in both seasons. But, over the course of the whole season and the edits, it just doesn't compare. Like Riley seems like a top 6 guy for sure. Totally see him there. But just don't see him breaking the top 4. And Chad Dog 678, thank you for the super chat. Can you please use the clip of Taylor Swift saying Bennett from the SNL sketch Roomies in your recap video tomorrow, please and thank you. I'll check it out. If it's good, I'll throw it in. All right, I'll make a little note. Sometimes with the recap video, it's just about going with the flow. Like I'll start stringing it all together, and like I have a list of like little clips and things already to add to the video already. But I don't use all of them because sometimes it just doesn't fit into where the flow of the whole thing's going, and I just got to cut it. And then sometimes I'll be like, oh man, I really wish I could use that. I wanted to use it. And then something from another episode comes in. I'm like, great, pull it out. But I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. Make a little note. What's in the box? What's in the box? I thought about that too. I have used, if it feels good, I'll do it. I've used it before. I used it for the premiere of Peter's season. What's in the box? There was a woman who came in a suitcase. But it might work out really well again. If it feels good, I'll use it. Boom. I actually already thought about that. What do you think's gonna happen between Noah and Bennett? This. Noah's gonna stay. Boom. Come on, thing. Be better. Be better at expanding, thing. There you go. Right in the center. Ah! There you go. What's in the boxes for the for Bennett's gift box at the end? So that's going to be it. It's the end of the live stream. Thank you so much for joining me, chatting about the show, talking about everything that went down in week 8. It's going to be time for me to head out, get some beauty rest, and start bright and early working on a recap video. We've got a lot of Bachelor content ahead of us. We've got this week, next week, plus preview, and then double weeks of the Bachelorette December 14th and 15th, Bachelorette is back on Mondays, and then again on the 22nd, and I believe likely also the 21st. A 2-part finale. Maybe it's the 23rd. I doubt that, though. Too close to Christmas. To finish up the season, finish up the show. I'm sure they'll release all this information. They'll blast it to let people know. But it's gonna be a lot coming. And then we've got Matt James season. And 2020 is finally over. Good riddance. Be done. And then it's, hopefully back into the swing of things. Month or two, Bachelorette starts, and then, before we know it, it's going to be end of paradise. Like, we really, from now until till September, are going to have straight content with just a little break in April and a bit of March and a bit of May. So lots to look forward to. Thank you all for coming out. I'll see you tomorrow in the recap. And until then, Bachelor Fan Take out.